now on Flow 94.9 FM Umuahia, the flow of God's own state. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. My name is Chimdindu Chambers. The headlines. President Buhari expresses dissatisfaction over postponement of election. Abia APC calls for overhaul of INEC leadership in the state. Abians urged to eschew violence during rescheduled election. And on the foreign scene, tomb of popular philosopher Karl Marx vandalized again. Details shortly. On the news this afternoon. We begin by letting you know that the Independent National Electoral Commission is explaining why it postponed the general elections. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu said the decision to postpone the polls followed a careful review of the implementation of the logistics and operational plans put in place for the exercise. He explained that the postponement of the elections would afford them the opportunity to address the issues raised, which would have altered the credibility of the outcome of the election, stressing that the decision was a tough one to make.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, met on Friday and reviewed its preparations for the 2019 general elections in order to maintain the quality of our elections. This was a difficult decision for the Commission to take, but necessary for the successful delivery of elections and the consolidation of our democracy. The Commission will meet with key stakeholders to update them on this development at 2 p.m. on Saturday, 16th February 2019 at the Abuja International Conference Center.
President Muhammadu Buhari is expressing his dissatisfaction over the postponement of the election by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Reacting to the postponement, the president expressed worry after providing the commission with all the requirements needed to conduct the election. He still failed to live up to his responsibility.
INEC has all got the time to supposed to according to their program. They were given all the resources, they had all the time, and they kept on telling us up to the last minute that they are ready. The fact that they are not ready, there is some inefficiency along the line.
He, however, appealed for calm amongst Nigerians while urging them to ensure they carry out their civic responsibility by voting during the rescheduled election. The presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, is urging Nigerians to be patient, just as INEC has postponed the election. Speaking to newsmen in Yola, Atiku maintained that he was not dampened by the postponement of the election, but appealed to Nigerians to come out en masse to cast their vote the day of the rescheduled election.
I'm appealing to Nigerians to please come out and vote, and I'm asking them to be patient about it.
Transparency International is also expressing its disappointment with the postponement of the general election. The leader of the group in Nigeria, Musa Rafsanjani, said the new electoral dates called for worry over the security of election materials, which has been distributed across the country. Rafsanjani further urged the National Assembly to constitute a committee to investigate the sudden postponement of the polls. Meanwhile, the residents of Umuahia have joined the rest of the world to express mixed reaction towards the postponement of the general election earlier scheduled for yesterday. Speaking to Flow FM News, some residents expressed shock and disappointment, while others were either understanding or indifferent.
We are tired of Nigeria. It's an insult to the nation and to the international level. For the past most days, they did not postpone the election. Only few hours, they decided to postpone the election. It's an embarrassment.
The problem with Nigeria is nothing is stable. We cannot just decide that something will happen, and they make sure that such thing happens. Last time I could remember when INEC chairman was telling us that everything is in place.
We are short of words. We have nothing to say about it because we don't really know what is happening maybe in the country in regards to the postponement of the election. So for now, we are just on a watch.
This election does not concern me because this thing have damaged some things to me.
The All Progressives Congress in Abia State is calling for a total overhaul of the leadership of INEC in the state, following the obvious alleged compromise and conspiracy of the commission with some politicians in the state. Addressing newsmen in Umuahia, the state chairman of APC, Donato Swampba, further alleged that INEC leadership was dancing to the tune of the ruling PDP in the state.
The Abia State All Progressive Congress wish to express our dissatisfaction with the composition and conduct of the Independent Electoral Commission, Abia State. We have lost confidence in them. We do not, on our own part, believe that the present crop of leadership of INEC in Abia can guarantee a free and fair election. Because even the multiple PVC that was apprehended was in possession of an electoral officer of a particular local government in the state.
Similarly, the chairman of Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, Abia State, Augustine Ehemere, has condemned the postponement of Saturday's Presidential and National Assembly election in Nigeria by INEC. Speaking to Flow FM News, Ehemere called on INEC to organize its activities properly to avoid future occurrence.
People have wasted their money and prepared for the election only for them to postpone the election at a very late hour.
He frowned at the desperation of some disgruntled politicians to thwart the effort of INEC in Abia State.
The effort of resident electoral commissioner of Abia State, Dr. Ilo, is being aborted, is being sabotaged by desperate politicians in collaboration with some officers of the commission. As at yesterday, PVCs were flying here and there, and people with materials they are not supposed to be in possession with. Of course, we are flying here and there. Some people were arrested in possession of PVC cards.
The APC candidate for Bende Federal Constituency, Benjamin Carlo, is appealing to the people to remain steadfast and eschew violence during the rescheduled Presidential and National Assembly election in Nigeria. Carlo, who was reacting to the postponement of yesterday's election, warned those who believe in violence to stay away from the constituency, as adequate security measures have been put in place to deal decisively with anyone who wants to destabilize the process in the area.
Security intelligence are monitoring those areas, and there will be a lot of casualties. I'm sure of that. I just want the electorate, the innocent one, to please stay clear. If they invite you to come and take money and vote on a fake ballot paper, say no, because you will be caught. And if you are caught, those ones who invited you, 5,000 will not be enough for that to be solved, and the ones who invited you will not be there to save your head at the end of the day. I'm asking them to remain calm but very vigilant. I'm asking them not to lose their faith.
News now on Flow 94.9 FM continues shortly with foreign, sports and entertainment news. Stay with us.
You are listening to News Now on Flow 94.9 FM. Umuahia.
Nigeria, the memorial of German philosopher Karl Marx has been vandalized in London for the second time in 2 weeks. The words architect of genocide, terror and oppression and mass murder were written in red paint on the grave in the capital's Highgate Cemetery. The grave of Marx, who developed the theory of international communism, was also attacked on February 4th when he was seemingly struck several times with a blunt metal instrument. And in sports, Nigeria's Imo Ezekiel scored his first Belgian league goal of the season for KV Kotrij, who was beaten 2-1 at home by Sporting Charleroi, who featured Victor Osimhen for the entire duration of the encounter on Saturday. The goal ended Ezekiel's 17-game goal drought for Kutri this season. Ezekiel scored 3 minutes after the restart to hand his side the lead, but goals from Rayota Murioka in the 66th minute and Jeremy Pabert in the 90th minute secured an away win for Sporting Charleroi. And in entertainment news, Eric Samuel is standing by.
Good day and welcome to Entertainment News at this hour. Movie lovers will be thrilled as the movie Jumanji sees to come back to the movie screen soon. The movie, which starred Dwayne Johnson, Kelvin Hart, Nick Jonas and others, started production on Thursday, February 14th, 2019.
Are you gonna help or are you too pretty?
I'm too pretty.
Yo, what's this?
A game for those who seek to find a way to leave their world behind. Jumanji.
We got sucked into Jumanji, and we become the avatars we chose. Maybe we're all in a coma.
In an Instagram post by Dwayne Johnson, the wrestler turned actor posted that Jumanji 3 movie will be out soon and hopefully could beat the previous 2017 record of $962 million at global box office. Now to the big news of the weekend. The 61st Grammy Awards saw history made as Cardi B broke the records to be the first female rapper to win Grammy Best Rap Album, beating Travis Scott, Mac Miller, Pusha T and Nipsey Hussle to the awards. Drama unfolded as BET, in a now deleted tweet, retweeted an article saying Cardi B is the first solo female rapper to win the Best Album. Meanwhile, Nicki Minaj is being dragged by her lace front. Nicki, who immediately tweeted that Young Money will no longer be part of the BET Experience and award show, also urged fans to go get their tickets refunded as soon as possible. BET, who released a statement stating that the tweet wasn't authorized, and they immediately took down the tweet and replaced it with an apology to Nicki and the fans of BET. In respect to the drama, Cardi B defended the work she had put into her album Invasion of Privacy.
For people to put other people down to uplift somebody else, that's not my style and that's not what I'm with, and I don't support that.
And afterwards deactivated her Instagram account.
I work hard for my album.
2 days later, after deactivating her Instagram account, Cardi B reactivated her account with the hint that her new single with Bruno Mars titled Please Me was set to be released 48 hours from that post.
Yeah. Come on, please me, baby. Turn around and just tease me, baby.
That the feud between Davido and Wizkid could be back on the table as Davido shaded Wizkid on Instagram. Wizkid, who opened up on rejecting millions in exchange for performances in election rallies, also urged Nigerians to vote their hearts. And for his comment on performances at rallies, Davido, who is trending for body shaming lady on Instagram for stating he sold his soul, debunked Starboy's Wizkid statements. Well, that's it on Entertainment News at this hour. My name is Eric Samuel and back to you at the studio.
Eric Samuel for that update, and of course that entertainment update wraps the news of this afternoon. But just before we go, let's take another look at our headlines. Wari expresses dissatisfaction over postponement of election. Abia APC calls for overhaul of INEC leadership in the state. Abians urged to eschew violence during rescheduled election. And on the foreign scene, tomb of popular philosopher Karl Marx vandalized again. Thanks for being with us. Do remember, your vote is your right to a better Nigeria. Do not sell it. Do join us again at 6:45 a.m., noon and 6 p.m. every weekday for additional newscast. This is Flow 94.9 FM, the flow of God's own state. You can send your views or information to flowfmnews@gmail.com or visit www.flownews.com.ng for more stories. This bulletin was edited by Ginika Olonha, supervising editor Samson Eze. I am Chimdindu Chambers. Have yourself a beautiful Sunday.
You're in a flow state of mind on Flow 94.